I don't want to bring it, he insisted, despite Sherry's high-pitched demands. Don't you understand, Sherry? I don't want anyone else to get hurt. Oh, Greg, she said, talking to him as if he were a 3-year-old. You don't really believe that, do you? You don't really believe that camera can hurt people. Greg was silent for a moment. I don't know what I believe, he said finally. I only know that first Michael, then Bird. Greg swallowed hard. And I had a dream, Sherry, last night. Huh? What kind of dream? Sherry asked impatiently. It was about the camera. I was taking everyone's picture, my whole family, Mom, Dad, and Terry. They were barbecuing in the backyard. I held up the camera. I kept saying, say cheese, over and over. And when I looked through the viewfinder, they were smiling back at me, but they were skeletons. All of them.
You can't scare me, not with the basement of botany. Maybe a sentient dummy calling all creeps.
Boo dudes, welcome to Calling All Creeps. Thanks for taking the RL time to be with us. I'm Matt.
I'm Dave.
And we're creepy.
Yeah, we are. How are you this week?
Pretty good. I'm pretty good. Just reeling from the read that we had today.
Yeah, I mean, we really set this up to be a special episode.
Yeah.
I may have made some promises.
Yeah, so our pursuit was to get Ryan Gosling to star in this episode.
I tried pretty hard.
You did, yeah. We reached out to a lot of people and we used a lot of our resources, by which we Googled and called one person.
Yeah.
But
I called a few people. It didn't really go anywhere. But I do have some info because I swore I was going to get a member of the Say Cheese and Die cast on this podcast.
Yeah, the reason we wanted to get him on here, to get Ryan Gosling on here, is because he was famously in the 96 episode of it was like season 1 of the Goosebumps show.
And he's got that JTT haircut. He's got the center part.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah. He was a stud from the beginning.
I don't know if I'd ever call a little boy stunning. Well, I didn't think so, but then I watched this episode.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix now. Actually, it might not be at this point by the time this episode's out. They're pulling it, but sometimes they put it back up.
It's worth seeking out
It is.
on YouTube, or just like a clip to see him in action as a kid. It's very funny.
So like I said, I guess at the end of this, I'm going to say what I did uncover. A little bit of Goosebumps lore that I couldn't find anywhere else.
Cool.
But Say Cheese and Die, November 1992.
Yeah.
So moving along, the song, How Do You Talk to an Angel by The Heights. You know that one?
No.
It's like, how do you talk to an angel?
No. It's
like, it's like you're catching a falling star.
That's a Bon Jovi voice.
It is, but it basically is. Look it up. You know this song. You just don't know.
Okay.
Know. It's a banger. Then, movies. Top movies were tied between Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula and Home Alone 2 Lost in New York.
Whoa.
But, you know what got runner-up to Home Alone 2 for kids' movie? Aladdin. Aladdin came out.
Great.
Street Rats.
Yeah.
Then November 3rd, Clinton beats Bush and is elected.
Okay.
And that's place and time. A little more details. This book is inspired by Rod Serling's Twilight Zone episode, A Most Unusual Camera. It sold almost 2 million copies.
Wow. And this is book number 4. So that's crazy.
That's insane. Well, I mean, also, it is one of the most iconic covers. We have the family dressed up in their barbecue gear, but they are skullboys. They are skeletons.
Yeah, they're straight up skeletons.
I hear the xylophone music just looking at them.
Yeah, that's what's playing in the background while they're enjoying their family time.
Yeah, they're having some steamed hams over there. And drinking a Coke with this skull.
Yeah. This is a flagship book. It's like this and Haunted Mask and Night of the Living Dummy. That's like the trifecta for Goosebumps.
It really is. And then Horrorland is also
pretty
on
iconic.
there, but those are, I mean, of course, Haunted Mask, Night of the Living Dummy are the top 2. This is probably right below it.
Yeah.
So, couldn't get Ryan Gosling. So I thought being a
Who would have
goofster-
thought? It would have been, we thought it would have been so easy to get him. Maybe a stop on his press tour for First Man. He could stop at my apartment.
So being a goofster, I was like, what if I promised Ryan Gosling and instead I got Akiva David Saltzman? You know who he is, right?
No.
He played Bird,
Okay.
who is kind of the jokester in this.
He sure is, yeah.
So
For
if you
better
don't
or worse.
know about these books or about what was going on, everything was created in Canada. It's just children actors in Canada. Spidey, one of the bad guys, actually plays another guy with a haunted camera in Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Right.
Because everybody was producing stuff in the same time. So Akiva David Saltzman was born 1982. He was in, of course, this episode, Say Cheese and Die. Then he was in Color of the Class, 2006. Love, a movie called Love, 2011. And Solidarity was also 2006. So I looked him up. I'm like, I feel like he's not doing much. I could totally get him to call. So I went through all the Goosebumps wikis, and then I went to IMDb. And then I realized 1982 to 2014.
Oh.
He died on October 3rd of 2014. I was really bummed. And I'm
That's
like,
so
that's
sad.
such a bummer.
Wait, was it a camera?
No. The more I dug in, because he actually goes by just Akiva David, not Saltzman.
Okay.
It was a homicide.
Oh. Maybe, but we don't know that it wasn't from a camera.
Oh, we know. Because I went down the internet rabbit hole to the point where I found the article and traced through Akiva David's criminal record, and also up until the point where he was murdered in the streets of LA. And no Wikipedia, nothing has this about this episode. Everybody's just like, oh, Ryan Gosling, he's got his JTT hair.
right.
No one's just like, his buddy was brutally murdered,
Yeah.
execution style in the streets of
Holy
LA.
shit. Wait, was he wrapped up in some shit?
So, on October 17th, 2014, the Daily News put up an article called Marijuana Trafficker Murdered Execution Style in Los Angeles.
Marijuana trafficker.
A marijuana trafficker awaiting sentencing in Brooklyn federal court was murdered execution style in Los Angeles, the Daily News has learned. Akiva David Saltzman, 32, was found dead of a gunshot wound inside a torched auto on
Jesus.
October 3rd. So they said that it appeared his client had been shot through the window and then his vehicle was set on fire. And he had pleaded guilty 2 months earlier to conspiracy to distribute marijuana, but a law enforcement source said that Saltzman was not a snitch. So, the more I learned, he was on parole waiting to be sentenced for marijuana trafficking and was a loose end in this whole production
Investigation,
and in the
yeah.
investigation. And the people that he was trafficking with in a state that now marijuana is legal,
Right.
shot him in the head and then burned his body in his own car in the middle of the street of LA.
That's so fucking intense. And I mean, the ends seem to not justify the means, right? Like marijuana trafficker, and he's like brutally murdered execution style. That's like a cartel hit. Like you would think he was like a marijuana heroin distributor.
Yeah. Well, it must have been a big deal. This is between Staten Island and LA. He was trafficking across the country. Had been caught. And of course they're going to say he wasn't a snitch. But, I mean, snitches get stitches.
Do you think?
Or in this case, burned alive in your own car.
Yeah. Do you think like before any of this happened, someone just like took a picture of his car, and like when they developed it, it was just like the charred skeleton of an automobile?
I think before they probably took a picture and they were like, this is my new apartment. Why is it filled with giant bags of marijuana? And later he goes to jail. Then he comes home and he's like so happy to be home. Let's take a picture at my welcome home party. They take a photo and he is on fire with a bullet hole in his head. Or maybe he takes a picture of his car and it's on fire. He's like, bummer.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, dude, must be broken. Like the camera must not be working well.
So if you don't know what this book's about,
Yeah.
we'll get to the plot, which has to do with that. This is just my excuse and apology. So Matt, this is just, I know excuses are excuses, but I couldn't get Akiva David on the podcast.
Well, listen, you tried your hardest. You found a really sad story in lieu of him.
I'm putting this up. I'm going to try and get this on the Goosebumps Wikipedia because it's not on there, and I want our spot in the limelight.
It should be.
Like the green slime limelight.
Yeah,
The slime light.
it's crazy that that's not noted on the Goosebumps Wikipedia.
On IMDb, it just says homicide.
Wow.
It doesn't have any details on his page, and it's a bummer
Yeah.
because he gave just top tier performance as Bird. One of the dumbest characters in Goosebumps, but
Yeah.
one of my most, probably my favorite character so far.
Yeah.
It just sucks you got to go out like that, Bird.
Damn. Well, R.I.P. Bird. I'll pour one out for you tonight.
Yeah, we're pouring out. This one goes out. This podcast is dedicated to Akiva David Saltzman.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Cool. So,
This is why I said I had some stuff to talk about at the beginning of the
Yeah.
podcast.
is there anything else you uncovered, or that's the silver bullet?
Believe it
right?
or not, that was kind of the
Yeah.
coolest thing I
Yeah.
found. Everything else was kind of.
That's
Are
a
You
lot.
Afraid of the Dark made the same thing with the same guy, and I was like, gotcha, you're on notice. Then I know that a guy was shot through the head and burned. So
So crazy.
also Ryan Gosling's in it.
Ryan Gosling's in it.
But if I could get a charred ghost on here,
Believe you me.
yeah, suck it, Taps. I know how to hunt a ghost. This is my EPP or whatever.
Well,
What do you call it when you record sound of ghosts?
EVP, I think.
EVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, electronic vapor pussy.
I thought it was enigmatic vagina pulse. But I could be
thought
wrong.
Every violet. What's a funny word that begins with P that's not pussy?
Penis.
Yeah, I forgot about number 2. All right, guys. Now that we've discussed penises,
Cool.
let's describe the other P word. Plot.
Well, before we get to the plot, while we're on Ryan Gosling, right?
Okay. I have a feeling we're never going to get to the plot, and I'm fine with that.
I have a lot of Gosling talk to get through. So I think
we
this is a big deal.
Can we name this segment?
Yeah, what were Gosling talk?
Goss Talk.
Goss talk.
Goss Talk.
It's Gosling and he's gonna talk to me today. So
Does he have a lazy eye? I'm just going to ask it. Do you feel like he has a little bit of a lazy eye?
I don't know.
If it is, it makes me want one. I want a lazy eye so I can look like him.
He looks good with it.
He looks good all the time.
Yeah, he does.
Man, I just want to lay on his face like a big old pillow,
He
like
wears-
a beanbag chair, and play N64, just laying on him.
That would be nice. Very 90s
I want
style.
to touch his beanbag.
He wears jackets really well.
In Drive, I think maybe 80% of the movie, he wears a denim jacket, just denim on denim, full Canadian
Yes.
tuxedo.
Yep.
And I'm still rock hard the entire time.
Yeah, looks great. And then the scorpion jacket, which looks great on him, but is shitty in practice.
Yes, it is.
So here's what I want to do. There's a little game that I want to play dedicated to Mr. Ryan Gosling and just the excitement that I feel that he was in this seminal 90s episode of Goosebumps. We're talking about the book today. He's still relevant. He's still modern. I feel like we can mesh these things together.
Is it Jenga?
It is not Jenga.
All right, I'm out.
All right. Bye. Boo dudes. Bye.
We do this at least once.
I
every
want to do it
episode.
once per episode.
Good.
Cool. So, Dave,
Yeah,
I'm going to put you on the spot.
that's fine.
We're going to play a little game called Ryan Gosling or Ryan, Matt. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. Really, I'm going to list some quotes.
All right.
And you have to determine whether
it's
I
you-
said it now or Ryan Gosling. Now,
Ryan Gosling.
Dave has known me for 11 years. So I'm going to.
But I've known Ryan Gosling for 12.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're both equally important. So just one sec. I have to introduce this segment. Ryan Gosling, Ryan, Matt. Ryan Gosling, Ryan, Matt. Okay.
so that's a song by Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a.
But new lyrics by you.
Right.
Do I get points?
Yeah. But it is Ryan Gosling's Dead Man's Bones.
Great
band.
Halloween album.
It's,
One of my
it's really good.
probably my favorite Halloween album. I'd
Yeah.
say.
If you don't know, he and his buddy made this full record of
It's just-
like ghost and werewolf music. It's amazing.
Him and his buddy and a bunch of kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. And they have like the Silver Lake Conservatory Choir or some shit like that. It's great.
You want to be spooky? Get a choir of children.
Yes. It is the scariest thing.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm still
All right.
on the song.
Here's a little. I'm going to give you a little trial run, just a quick little test.
All
Okay.
right.
Make it start nice and slow. Hi, I'm Ryan. And when you answer, you have to say Ryan Gosling or Ryan, Matt.
Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
Yes.
I like to undress in the nude.
Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
Oh wow, I'm good at this.
I should say, yeah, girl, or whatever,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Paddington 2 is one of my favorite movies.
Ryan Matt.
Yes.
Oh.
I make a mean tuna fish sandwich.
I'm gonna go with Ryan Gosling
Correct. Yeah, girl.
because sometimes they put nuts in that, and you are allergic.
Yeah, do they? That's gross.
Oh, actually, no. I was thinking of chicken salad.
Either way, it's they're
Regardless.
gross either way. My wife claims I have a small dick and a little ass.
This is I was gonna say me, but I don't have a wife. But I think it's Ryan Matt.
Yes, perfect record so far, Dave. I don't believe my house was haunted. I think I had an overactive imagination, and I was so convinced that those around me became convinced too.
This is Ryan Gosling.
Yes, correct. Women are better than men.
Ryan Gosling.
Correct. I think men are better than women.
I like a good mix.
Yeah.
I think lizards are in between the two,
Lizards
and I
are
would
good
love to
too.
discuss that more.
That's good. Yeah, we'll have our meninist segment.
I
at
think
the end of the
dogs should
episode,
vote.
And lizard segment and dog segment. Elton John is my favorite piano man.
This is Ryan Matt.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really good.
You're
at this.
you're
Good.
on a roll. You have 8 in a row perfect records.
Out of what?
18.
Oh, wow. This is a long
I
game.
cut it down. I cut it
Did
down.
you?
It's not like I set out to be the indie guy.
Ryan Gosling.
Yes. I turned 30 and everyone told me I would feel different, and I didn't.
Ryan Gosling.
Correct. Sometimes I'm scared I'll fart myself to death.
Ryan Matt.
Yes, correct. That's weird that you knew that one.
It's interesting.
I sometimes forget to have breakfast in the morning, but when I actually buy a box of cereal, I will probably eat it not only for breakfast, but also as a snack later on.
Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
Because that's in lieu of the Vines. Ryan Gosling doesn't like cereal.
Oh, really?
Have you ever seen those?
No.
Well, if you guys look up Ryan Gosling doesn't like cereal, it's a bunch of Vines where somebody tries to feed Ryan Gosling on their TV cereal.
Oh,
It's very good.
that's good. We'll have to, yeah, we'll link to that.
We won't.
We won't.
Google it, you lazy fuck.
Yeah. Sign up for our Patreon first, you cowards.
Give me $1.
Yeah.
I don't. Not even Patreon. Just give me one.
Yeah, give us $1 or else. Texting my cat from the bathroom to stop meowing.
This is Ryan Matt.
Correct. That was a tweet I had. I
Yeah.
ran out of quotes for myself.
Yeah, I remember that tweet.
Yeah. There's donut charmers everywhere, and it's a problem, and no one's doing anything about it.
This is Ryan Gosling.
Correct.
Because I've never heard you say donut charmer, but I imagine we're gonna say it forever now. Like that's now just
Yeah, it's
lexicon.
insane.
That's us lexicon.
That's from a Jimmy Kimmel interview, and it's insane. He's
That's nuts.
an insane person. You know how when you eat something weird, your brain sends your tongue to go investigate?
Ryan Gosling?
Yes, but you had some trepidation there.
Yeah,
I'll
'cause
count
it
that
seemed
as
very
like,
Ryan
almost
Matt.
had you. I thought I wanted the scorpion jacket from Drive, but I realized I'd just look like an asshole.
This is Ryan Matt.
Correct. 16 perfect record.
There's one person I know that could pull off the jacket, and they own one jacket, but they live in Phoenix. So they only get to wear it on very random occasions.
They
and
have
they're
the
a tough
jacket,
guy.
though.
They have the jacket.
That's amazing.
And when they wear it on certain occasions or they travel and stuff, it's like, whoa, is that the Drive jacket? And it's perfect. It's the perfect amount
Well,
for a
if you're
perfect
in
boy.
Arizona,
It's a
that
perfect
makes
boy.
sense. Yeah.
Shout out to Fabio. It's a perfect boy.
Shout out Fabio. I haven't met you, but you sound nice. 2 more.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh shit.
You have beautiful hair, but if one of those were to wander over here, it would give me pause.
What?
ha-
Ryan Gosling?
Yes.
Okay. I don't understand it. That's why I guessed it.
Yeah, it's
Also, there's no talk of butts or little dicks.
that's
so.
true. Yeah, that's fair. All right. Last but not least, I really think this will get you.
Okay.
Could go either way. I'm the mayor of Poo Poo Pee Pee Town.
Shit. See, I want to say Ryan, Matt,
Uh-huh.
but I think it's Ryan Gosling.
Is that your final answer?
I'm gonna say Ryan Conlon.
That's your final answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect record, Dave.
Yes.
Clean sweep.
Did your wife play this game?
Yes.
Did she get perfect score?
No. She
Oh.
didn't. She got 2 wrong, I think.
Hey, Cheeb, suck it. I'm the wife now.
That's right. After this episode, we're going to the courthouse.
I want
I'm
a
marrying
ring.
Dave now.
I want a ring. You pick where it goes.
All right.
Do we even need to do the book? I'm having fun just playing games.
That's fine. Let's just make up another game. I could sing more lyrics to Ryan Gosling songs.
We can do that.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Let's just reenact Drive.
Okay.
You be the 80s electro soundtrack, and I'll be the bright pink.
Okay.
You can't tell, but at this point, I'm like a tealish color, and now there's pink lights. Cars are passing. Aerial shot over a bridge. Car goes under it. White, cool font goes on it. It says a Ryan Gosling joint. Music by Ryan Conlon Matt. All right, I think we're good.
All right, cool. So let's talk about the plot.
All right.
What happens in this book? Oh, I'll just take care of it. Ready?
Yeah.
4 idiots find a camera.
No, they steal a camera
Yes. Correction. 4 idiots steal a camera.
from
now
a
we can
homeless
move on.
man in a haunted house.
Yeah, a mentally deranged homeless man,
Yeah.
right?
He was a scientist.
Yeah, but now he like threatens kids and stuff.
That's fine.
So the plot is that 4 kids go into an abandoned house and they find a camera.
They go in there knowing this homeless man lives there, and then they
Right,
like
yeah.
laugh at his like food and how homeless he is.
Yeah. So there's a man squatting there, and they see like like frozen dinners all over the floor and like a mattress in the corner and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, gross."
Yeah. Wow, people in squander, and
Yeah.
he probably doesn't even have insurance.
Yeah. And Greg. So there's 4 kids. There's Greg, Michael. Michael's his brother, right?
No,
See,
Michael's the fat friend. Terry's the brother.
there are 4 characters, and I am confused by them in a way that I'm confused by Game of Thrones.
Here we go. So it's confusing because, well, in the characters I put, there's Michael Warner, who is the fat friend, who always just kind of
That's right.
seems, he's the squid if we're talking in like rocket power speak.
Yeah.
So he's the squid. He's the one who always gets like shit on. Then there's Doug, who is known as Bird.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They're from a town called Pitt's Landing, and they say Pitt's Landing is the
Is the
Pitts,
Pitts, yeah.
which sucks because that sets the tone for how bad this town is at making nicknames. Doug's name is Bird because he looks like a bird, and every time they describe him, they say he's bird-like. So he's
Yeah.
Bird, but he's funny. He plays baseball terribly, and he just always has good jokes.
It seems like between Bird and Spidey, it's like everyone has a nickname based on what animal they look like.
Yeah.
What do you think your nickname would be if like in this town, based on like what animal you look like? I'll go first.
Okay.
I think mine would be horse piss
Ah.
or
Yeah.
like one of those baboons with his ass out, like the exposed ass baboons. I don't know what they're called. Just, I guess, baboon.
Baboon. Mm-hmm. Mine would be Dragon Dick. Because people
That's
say
cool.
that I'm really tough and swift.
Ooh.
Just like a dragon dick.
Yeah. Nice.
Also, I have scales.
Yeah, you have a scaly ass dick.
So Bird is the Joker in the group. His name is Doug. Michael is fat ginger who wears the most hilarious clothes. He tries to make jokes and he sucks.
Yeah, RL also is not kind to him when he describes. I remember when he describes his weight, he says like he's not fat, but no
He's
one would
never
call
been
him
called
skinny.
skinny.
It's like, geez.
That's one on my good writing. I'm like, what a good way
Yeah.
to describe him.
Yeah.
Then there's Shari, who is a girl, and she fucking sucks. She's just the girl in the
Yeah.
group who's like, I'm the girl in the group, so you have to do whatever I say.
Right.
Very 90s TV. She has a crush on Greg's brother, Terry, who's older than them
Terry,
and
that's right.
works at an ice cream shop,
Yeah, the dairy freeze.
the Dairy Freeze. He doesn't know what veal is. There's a whole part in the book about it.
Right.
Greg, our main character and our Gosling boy,
Uh-huh.
is a muscular, handsome, blonde guy who loves photography and apparently stealing.
He does love to
Also,
steal.
He's so pumped about his parents' new station wagon. They're like, "Hey, we got that station wagon you've been lusting over," and he's
Yeah.
like, "Fuck yes, station wagon."
He does. He fawns over it in the driveway for a while, and then goes inside, and he's like, "Dad, your wagon looks awesome."
He's like, "You know us and S wagons." He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, Dad, S wagons for life." High five.
Yeah, and then his dad promises that they'd take it out for a drive, and then they do, and their father scares their entire family by speeding.
Yeah, that's a bad driver.
Bad driver, and they're all like, "Don't speed!" Like, none of them are on board with going faster, and he like puts the pedal to the floor.
I'm like, "Dad, you're going the speed limit," and he's like, "You're right. Let's open this puppy up."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, Dad, please."
It's crazy. Yeah,
He's like, "I have 2 kids and nothing left to lose. Let's all die together."
let's do this.
So they're in Pitt's Landing. The town is shit. The 4 kids are so bored, they decide to rob a homeless man. They go to the Kaufman house, which is haunted, and they check it out. I wrote that the name, everything nickname-wise in the town sucks. A homeless man named Spidey,
Yep.
who lives there, wears all black and has a hat and long limbs and walks around like a spider. So
Yeah.
everybody calls him Spidey.
Hence Spidey.
So you got Bird, you got Spidey, you
Yeah.
got other lazy nicknames.
You got like the poo poo.
Kid Who Wears Hat. His name is Kid Who Wears Hat.
Oh, really?
No, I wrote him in, but
Oh.
you know he exists. Mailman's name is Mailman.
Yeah. There's Fuck Squatch.
So the gang, they rob the homeless man for fun. And as they take the camera out, there's a secret compartment. He squeezes the vice downstairs in the basement
Right.
where Spidey lives and opens a secret compartment.
Yeah.
Secret compartments. This book's chock full of them.
Yep.
Everybody has a secret
They
compartment.
do. Yeah. Greg
That's-
just takes it from one secret compartment and puts it in another.
Yeah. There's so many secret compartments. So takes a picture of Michael up on the stairs, who's obviously just shitting bricks and being like, "We shouldn't be in here, guys."
Yeah. He's
Well,
pooping his Pampers.
Yeah, he's just shoving Chex Mix down his fucking gullet and just being a fat jerk. And he takes a picture, and instantly the railing breaks and he falls. And his ankle explodes. They treat it like his ankle is gone.
Yeah.
And then they hear something upstairs. They have to run. They run as fast as they can, and they need to drag Michael because, as we know, his foot fell off and is gone.
Right.
There's only blood there. There's
And-
no longer a skeleton. His
Yeah.
bones turn to dust. They run away from Spidey. They get out in front of the house, and he sees them run away.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Michael's like, "Oh, my ankle's fine." Like he
It
was
feels
just
okay.
lazy and didn't want to walk.
Yeah. I don't think it was that traumatic of a fall.
They look at the picture, and the picture is of Michael falling.
Right. When we know that Michael struck a quote unquote goofy pose for the photo. So they know something's amiss, but they just say, like, well, Greg, you're a bad photographer because, like, clearly something isn't aligning here.
Yeah.
But of course, like, that rationalization makes sense where it's like, oh, we must have fucked this up somehow.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah. But so they escape the house. They'll go their separate ways, right?
I'll go home.
Greg goes home. This is where they notice that, or where we notice, and Greg notices that his dad has a new station wagon.
Yes.
So they take a picture of it. Greg takes a picture of it. When it's developed, he notices that the station wagon is wrecked. It's totaled. It's like smashed in. It's all messed up.
Do we say it's a Polaroid?
It's a Polaroid, yeah.
It would be a really boring book. It's like, I can't wait to go to CVS and see how fucked up this is next
It
week.
takes 3 weeks to get the photos back.
Yeah.
So Greg sees that the photo of the car that's totaled. He goes downstairs, tries to have dinner with his family and say like, "Oh, really nice car," and tries to act normal, but he's really,
Freaking
upset about this. Yeah. And his dad the whole time is pushing a ride in the station wagon because it's a new car. They want to kind of test it out.
And like we said, they're S-Wagon aficionados, so they really
Yeah.
want to open that puppy up.
That's right. And they do. They take that bad boy to the streets. Nothing happens. It's fine.
Near miss.
There's a near miss, but really just like that's a cliffhanger that RL wanted to use. After the joyride, there's a lot of in this book. There's some filler. It's just perfunctory progression. I feel like
Takes a
It-
picture of Terry in his room. When he sees the
Right,
photo,
yeah.
it's of him outside looking shocked.
Yeah.
So he puts a camera away in his own secret compartment, which is part of his headboard.
Right. Yeah. Which I found strange because it's like he acts like the way he describes it. It's like no one knows about this. My parents don't know about it, but it's like your parents definitely bought it for you.
Yeah.
So I think they probably know.
Yeah, they know all the porn you have in there.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem to matter.
No. Not enough to be a plot point, at least.
Yeah, but there are so there's the photo of Terry. There's what's the photo after that? Is Sherry?
No, then the photo after that is of Bird.
Oh, right, on the fields, on the baseball field.
So that pretty much nothing happens until chapter 14 when shit hits the fan. Take a picture of Bird on the baseball field, and his neck is like snapped. The eyes are open.
Yeah.
He's in an awkward angle, and he's just down.
It's a gruesome description.
There's the picture of Dad, accident, of course, and then there's the games happening, and Doug does that very Goosebumps thing, Bird, where he reenacts the photo as a joke
Oh, right, yeah.
to shock you so that you can
Right.
move from one chapter to the other.
One
and
of the
be shocked.
gotchas, the many gotchas.
So then turns around on the bleachers, and who's there but Terry, and he looks shocked, and he's outside. It's the photo, and he's like, you have to come home. Dad's been in an accident.
Right. So then here's your totaled car photo.
Meanwhile, home run, no, line drive, hits Bird right in the throat, and he is out on the ground, neck snapped,
Yeah.
just fucked.
Yeah.
Devastated.
Yeah, it's when you read it, it's pretty graphic. You do think like, oh, he's dead now.
Yeah, he's like, that is
He had
Bird.
a line drive to the forehead.
Yeah.
So Greg gets a double whammy there. He gets the news about his dad, and then his friend is on the ground. Bird's okay.
Three photos come true.
Yeah.
Car accident,
Right.
the brother, Bird's neck.
Yeah. But Bird's fine ish.
Description doesn't match how he's good the next day.
No. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because the next day they're basically all at Sherry's party pretty shortly after that.
Yeah.
And Bird is like having a good time. He's wearing like this funky shirt. He's like dancing and stuff. It's like
Bird is
not
just
a big deal.
shitting on Michael for wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. Nobody likes that.
He takes dirt off the ground because he's like, it's my only clean shirt. So he like takes soil off the floor and rubs it on him, and he's like, now it's dirty.
Yeah. And somebody says like Bird puked on his shirt, and he's like, no, I didn't. And it's like, oh, it looks like that naturally, and everyone erupts in laughter.
Also, he just kind of disappears in that chapter. So I imagine there's like the side story where he just like is crying by himself.
Yeah.
Like, just being like, my dead grandfather bought me this shit.
Yeah.
It was his grandmother or grandfather that bought it for him.
Right, yeah,
It was
that's why
3
it's
sizes
oversized.
too big. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it may have been his dead grandfather's shirt that he's finally had the courage to wear out. And these kids are brutal, man.
Look, this is the time of the Hawaiian shirt. None of these kids clearly saw the new Queer Eye because Hawaiian shirts are in, baby. What can you do?
If they only knew.
Teens in the 90s. Preteens in the 90s.
So they took the photo they took the camera to the party.
Yeah, Sherry insisted that Greg bring the camera to her party so that Sherry can have photos taken of her.
They just want to take fun photos. Like,
Yeah.
that's the activity for her party.
Yeah. But it ends up being Sherry just wants some solo shots. And Greg, so they go up to Sherry's bedroom. So they're outside, and Greg, lines up the shot, whatever, takes this picture of Sherry in front of a tree. And when the exposure comes back, Sherry's not in the photo. It's just a tree. So they try again. So double down, take another photo. It's the same thing. There's just a tree. So she's invisible. Sherry's mom calls, says, come in, let's have some cake.
Well, no, you missed the most important part.
Uh-oh.
So Sherry's mom, who I'm pretty sure is just, how do you picture her? I imagine she's wearing like a white skirt and like a polo, and she's just has a giant goblet of wine. And is just fucking wasted the whole time.
Sure.
She won't let them in the house. She's like, kids are dirty. You just play outside.
Yeah.
And she has them go and they play in the woods. And they play Truth or
Yeah.
Dare.
Oh, right. They do play Truth or Dare. Oh, but it's kind of skimmed over. It's like...
It's skimmed over, but this is what they say. A few kids laughed. A game, Bird chimed in. You mean like spin the bottle? Truth or Dare, Nina suggested. Yeah, Truth or Dare, a couple of the girls called in agreement.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Greg groaned quietly to himself. Truth or Dare meant a lot of kissing and awkward, embarrassing stunts.
Right.
9 girls and only 3 boys. It was going to be really embarrassing. How could Sherry do this to us, he wondered.
Yeah, weird progression. It makes me uncomfortable when it talks
Yeah.
about, because they're all like 11, so it's like 3 girls and 9 girls and 3 boys, and then it's like, and then Greg gets mad about it.
He's like, I'm going to have to kiss a lot of holes.
Yeah, like what is happening?
And then game's over. All of a sudden, mom calls, says the cake's here. And this is when I feel like mom's drunk. And it just, if you see on my page, it just says
mom's drunk.
This is what she says. Laughing and talking about the game, the kids made their way to the patio where the pink and white birthday cake, candles all lit, was waiting on the round umbrella table. I must be a pretty bad mom, Miss Walker joked, allowing you all to go off in the woods by yourselves. Some of the girls all laugh. Then somebody says around, it says knife in her hand. She looked around. Where's Sherry? So she's like, I'm a shitty parent. I fucking suck. Am I right, my daughter?
Yeah.
Wait, where the fuck's my daughter?
Yeah. And turns out she's right. Although really this was Greg's fault. Or maybe it was
Sherry's
Sherry's fault. Yeah.
He's like, your camera's cursed? She's like, yeah, I can't use it. She's like, stop being a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
Come here and take my goddamn picture.
Yeah. Although, is this the part where,
Cops come?
well, yeah, the cops come early on in the book, page 46. I don't know what chapter that is. I could check, I suppose. But there is a point where Greg really insists that he has to take the photo. I mean, this is not...
Oh, that was during the ball game.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's not an important detail, but it's weird that... Because he begins to be wary of the camera at this point, and then he's like, I want to take the photo. Give me the camera. I have to take it.
I like the feeling of power.
Yeah, he's like the executioner suddenly. So that's strange. But yeah, so the cops do come because Sherry's gone now.
Sherry's just gone.
Yeah, as predicted by the photo.
He sticks by, wants to talk to the cops, and he said that it's the camera. He took a picture. It's this, and the guy said, you might want to see a counselor. Do you need a cop to bring you home? He's like, nah, I'm just gonna walk. And
Yeah.
the cops are like, all right, see ya. There's so many things where like you shouldn't let a kid do that.
No. Well, I doesn't he live like across the street or something? I don't know.
But still, it's like they live like houses down, but
Still, he's a child.
a child is missing.
Yeah.
And just how the town reacts, like, a kid's missing. And they're like, well, you want to go play in the woods by yourself? Like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So the cops are just like, all right, if you think of anything.
Yeah. Also, it makes it worse because Greg starts to admit that he starts to talk about the camera. He's like, I got to get this off my chest. Maybe this is relevant to this man. I'll explain that the camera is the thing that's doing it.
Yeah.
And the cop just looks at him with concern. So clearly, like in the cop's eyes, he's like, oh, here's like this kid's having a breakdown. But he sends him away. He's like, go home.
Also, the cop's name is Officer Riddick. So all I could think of was Vin Diesel, the entire time.
In goggles.
I think of Vin Diesel just being like, kid, you should go home.
Mi familia. Salut, mi familia.
Is that how he talks?
He does in the Furious movies.
And Iron
Fast and
Giant,
Furious
in
movies.
Iron Giant, he's like, rock.
Oh, and in what's that movie? Guardians of the Galaxy. He says Groot. I guess he likes single word roles.
Yeah.
Gets paid $9 million to
He
say
says,
Groot.
go home. So
Big Diesel fans over here.
he goes home. No one's home. Terry's out working at the Cream Hut. Mom's off. I don't know.
Also at the Cream Hut.
Also- and Dad's making that money. So
Dad's at the Cream Hut.
yeah. It's a whole family affair.
Yeah.
At the Cream Hut. Goes up to his room and it's torn to shreds.
Yeah.
Spidey broke into the kid's room and just tore everything apart.
Yeah, creepy.
So this is the part where talking to the police may have been interesting, may have actually helped out because, there's a homeless man who you robbed,
Yeah.
who now has broken into your home,
He knows where you live. Yeah.
You're like 11,
Right.
and has wrecked your stuff. What does he do? Thank God he had the camera in his secret compartment
Yeah.
where it wasn't found. Well, he
Right.
had it with him. And he just cleans up because he's like, I can't let my parents know that homeless
A man
wants
was in
to-
my room. Yeah. Seems like something you should mention.
It's like no one will understand. Also, if I tell the cops, I'll get in trouble for stealing from the homeless man.
Right, yeah.
That goes back and forth. He decides, I gotta dump this camera.
Yeah, let's just end it. He tries to recruit his friends, but they don't really want to do it. But Sherry's still gone until she reappears. So until he, in an act of frustration, he rips up the photos of Sherry, or not Sherry, of the tree, where Sherry should be. 2 hours, he takes a nap or something. 2 hours later, he gets a phone call that Sherry's back. And she came back 2 hours ago when he ripped up the photos.
Insane.
So there could be some connection there.
Well, in between that too, when they wanted to go and talk, they had the camera, and bullies wanted to steal it.
Yeah.
And these are the toughest bullies we've come across.
Right. These are they're in the vein of Monster Blood, but they're tougher.
They're like 16, 17, but
Yeah.
they have the same description.
Yeah, Metal
There's,
Band
like,
t-shirts.
Metal
It is
Band
the same exact
t-shirts,
description.
Jinkos.
Yeah.
Except
Airwalks.
they always go about how these kids love stealing. Like they have a stealing fetish.
Yeah. Yeah, it says in the book they're special, like it uses the word specialty
Is stealing.
is stealing bikes.
And they talk about how like they kick everyone's ass to the point where people talk about it. But I'm pretty sure the rumor is spread by them.
Yeah, it's like they put one kid in the hospital forever or something like that is the rumor. It's like clearly a 12-year-old made it up.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, his head fell off and they had to put it back on.
It's insane. Also, his uncle works at Nintendo, so he gets free video games.
Well, yeah, he's in the hospital forever now, but he plays free video games, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they try to steal the camera. When they do, a photo goes off of Greg, and he's
Yeah.
freaking out. He looks in the photo, and there's a shadow, and it's a picture of him and Sherry together, who's missing.
Yeah.
She's gone. And they're fucking terrified.
Yeah, they're just scared. So he got off kind of easy. He's not like Bird, like dead on the ground or whatever.
He has like a paper cut in the photo.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, he's like,
his shirt
"Ooh."
has a stain.
Yeah. I'm going to have to shout this shit out now. Thanks
And,
a lot, Haunted Camera.
So Sherry's back. She does not understand where she was.
No, yeah, she just lost time, basically. She just can't. And that
X-Files.
stuck with me. Yeah. Because if you come back, and they sort of acknowledge this in the book, but they really skim over it. It's like if you came back from being missing and you told your parents you didn't know where you were, that would affect you for the rest of your life. Like
Oh, yeah.
you'd be under evaluation. You'd probably have to be like committed somewhere at least briefly, or like see a doctor for an extended period of time.
They would be pulling fibers from below her fingernails if
Yeah.
she disappeared for 2 days and had no idea where
For
she
sure.
was.
Yeah. But they kind of, just breeze over it a little bit.
Yeah. Dean Cain would be talking about it on TV, and like this was
Yeah,
very
Dean
much
Cain.
like biggest mysteries and stuff.
Yeah.
So they're back. He decides, hey, we're gonna meet up at the baseball field where we always hang out, and we're going to figure out when we're gonna get rid of this crap.
Yeah. So Sherry actually does help him. His other guy friends don't. But Sherry's on board with helping him to go back to the house and return the camera.
Michael is a wimp. He doesn't want to do any of
Yeah.
this. He kind of is just gone for the rest of the book.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's still crying about his shirt.
Well, Bird too, right? He doesn't
No,
really.
Bird goes with them to the house.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I just blocked him out.
He's my favorite. So Bird and Sherry are there. They go to talk about the camera, and all of a sudden they look up and they're under a shadow.
And they're Spidey.
They're Spidey.
And it's the photo.
It's the photo, and he chases them.
Yeah. To the street, and then luckily they run into a neighbor who threatens to call the cops
My
on Spidey.
second part that I'm like blown away. So a girl goes missing for 2 days in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
This is just a random character who I don't even know if we know his name. He doesn't matter. He shows up.
Yeah,
and
just a neighbor.
he's like, "Hey, you! Don't chase those kids." And he goes,
Yeah.
I'm calling the cops."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Whoa, thanks for that." He's like, "You guys want to ride back to your house or something?" Because there's like a homeless guy chasing you.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Nah, we're fine. Keep going." She's like, "Should I call the cops?" And they're like, "Don't worry about
Yeah,
it."
he defers to them. Like, do you guys think I should call the cops?
And
And
he's
they're
like-
11, and he's presumably an adult.
They're like, "We're fine."
It's like, okay, bye.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I thought that guy wasn't as as big of a deal as it looks like. It seems
Yeah.
like he's chasing kids." And they're
Yeah.
like, "He's harmless."
Yeah, he's gone now, so there's no way he's coming back.
Yeah. But at that point, they know who they are. They're being chased. They got to bring them back to the house.
Yeah.
They wait for a day when a huge storm's coming
Yeah.
to do it.
As you might. That's the smart move.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, they go back into the house. They manage to, they're creeped out the whole time. There's thunder and lightning. The house makes a lot of noises, but eventually they get the camera back into the compartment. The problem is they hear footsteps above them,
I do.
and they see Spidey at the top of the stairs when they try to escape. Spidey comes down menacingly, explains the origin of this camera. He says that he used to be a doctor, he used to be a scientist who worked with another scientist, and they were both inventors. But they were evil, And
He's like, I was evil, but he was more evil.
it's insane. And on page 122, Spidey says, "I was evil, you see." And that's the description. And he's like, "I stole the camera from my inventor friend because I was evil, you see." It's truly insane writing.
They wanted
Also,
to make a lot of money.
I don't know like what it's I looked, maybe you picked it up, but I couldn't find like the original intent of this camera.
It's implied. I think it's a camera that shows you the future.
Okay, but they just perverted it.
Because the more evil inventor, was also pretty knowledgeable in the dark arts.
Right. So this brings in
He curses the camera while it's
yeah.
stolen.
I guess there were little dark arts in Monster Blood, but I feel like this really delves into the world. This does two things. It like really hits the world of dark arts, like putting a curse on this camera and
Yep.
like endangering people's lives more than like just Evan in the last book. This is like could just like kill whoever you pointed at. Basically, it's like a gun. And the second thing is this, to just fast forward sort of to, I mean, it happens like pages after. Spidey says, "You guys can't leave," and like tries to kill them basically. And he does the "I'm so sorry" thing as he approaches them. But then they take a picture of him and Spidey ends up dying. And R.L. Stine, if you remember from our first episode, he says outright that there are no deaths in the Goosebump universe. Nobody ever dies in a Goosebumps book.
Yeah, but
But-
from book 2, like people start dying.
For sure. Even in book 1, all the ghosts are like eviscerated.
Yeah, they all huffed fumes of plastic and died.
But this is just like a man, just like a, he's not like a monster or anything. He's just like a homeless, crazy guy. And he just has like a coronary and dies.
Yeah.
So like in front of these children. So here is like death is real in the Goosebumps universe. I think that's significant.
And they call the cops and they say that they were trying to get out of the rain. They went into this house and they found a dead body.
Yeah, which is a
End
smart
of story.
move.
They locked the camera there. This is also when we learn the full, like, true meaning, where we know that R.L. Stine takes one idea and writes a whole book around it. Usually it's the title. I feel like this is where the whole story came from. And I thought this was awesome.
Cool.
Best premise. So, page 126. He turned his gaze on Greg, leaning over him. This is Spidey. "Do you know how some primitive peoples fear the camera? They fear the camera because they believe that it takes their picture. If it takes their picture, it will steal their soul." He patted the camera. Well, this camera really does steal souls.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think I've heard that fact a million times about these
Right.
tribes that believe cameras steal your soul. And I remember reading Scholastic for Kids, and there was something about it. And I always thought it was a cool fact that stuck with me. And he wrote a whole book about it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is cool.
I thought that was really cool.
It's a cool premise. It's just this book is sort of a slow burn. The plot points are the stars on the map are like, here's a photo that comes true. Here's a photo that comes true. Here's a photo that comes true. And that's kind of it.
Coolest part of this book is the cover. And
For sure, it
it's
is.
just a dream that he has. He has
Yep.
a dream about taking a photo and saying to his family, "Say cheese."
Yeah.
Takes a photo and it comes out, and as he looks through the viewfinder on it, they're all skeletons.
Yeah. And that's the cover that you have here. And it's iconic. This is a flagship book. And it's, when you read, I mean, the breadth of volumes in the Goosebumps like collection, I mean, all you have to do is go up to like, number 15, and there's a bunch of books that are way better than this one. But this is like a huge landmark in the Goosebumps universe and catalog.
So that's the story. They put it away. Turns out the two shitty bullies were watching them through the window,
Oh,
and they steal the camera and take a photo of themselves
and that's where it ends.
until the next book.
So, barring the next book, what do you think? So, they took a photo of Mickey, right? It was Mickey and Joey are the bullies. What do you think the photo of Mickey was? I have two possible suggestions.
I don't even want to guess. I feel like yours are going to be way better. Tell me.
Well, so here's what I think. I think maybe he was either like microwaving a hot pocket to defile, like probably the ham one.
Mm-hmm.
And like just stick it between his two mattresses and just like the box spring and the
go to
mattress,
town.
just kind of have fun with that. Or maybe he was gonna like stick the other end of his toothbrush in his ass.
What was it? It was Mickey, and what was the other one?
Joey.
I think it was the two of them kissing.
Yeah.
And they realized that the whole reason they're metalheads and tough is because their dad is really intolerant and just only lets them listen to Skynyrd and Metallica.
That's
and
right.
that now they're going to have to go and tell their dad that they love each other. They're truly going to have to
repressed.
do that. And it's really sad because these characters who are rough, I mean, they have that trauma. It's just because, I mean, it's the 90s. They don't let them really be who they are.
So
They
actually,
love each other.
that'd be a good thing because it liberates them.
It's true, but at the same time, dad's going to whip his ass.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. But what a good photo.
Yeah.
Their first couple photo.
Aw.
It's pretty nice.
I like that.
We'll have to wait for Say Cheese and Die Again.
Yeah.
Catchy title.
But let's assume that that's it and it's a
that's
happy
probably
ending. Cool. So do you want to talk a little bit about the writing?
What'd you like?
What did I like? I liked on page 6, he talks about the house. What do they call it? What's the name?
Kaufman?
Kaufman, yeah, the Kaufman house. I think our pages are different again. But it said, when it talks about the lore of the house, right? Like, this is the spooky house in town. It says, and people like to tell weird stories about the house, ghost stories and wild tales about murders and ghastly things that happened there. Most likely, none of them were true. I like that last line because it gives a little credence. It's like a little nod to, like, you know, there are possibilities. It could be haunted. I like that. There's some subtlety to that. It's erased by the fact that at the end of that page, this is the end of chapter 1. There's an exclamation mark. There's overuse of exclamation marks in R.L. Stein's writing in general.
I
But
met the guy. He's always screaming.
yeah. But yeah, the last line of this chapter is, before he could reply, a dark form leapt up from the shadows of the tall weeds and attacked him! Exclamation point. So it kind of undoes
just a
it
pup.
there. Yeah, it's just a dog, which they shit on, like all pets in R.L. Stein's universe, and they call him dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you like?
I liked also the living room carpet, the whole setting of the house when they get to the basement where it's Spidey's domicile. They say the living room carpet as threadbare as the one in the entryway and a dark oval stain in the center of it. Greg and Bird, stopping in the doorway, both notice it at the same time. Think it's blood?
Oh,
Bird
yeah.
asks, his tiny eyes lighting up with excitement. Greg felt a chill in the back of his neck. Probably ketchup, he replied. Bird laughed and slapped him hard on the back. That, I think, was something else I was looking at, but I thought was funny. The threadbare was pretty cool, but also in the basement, it's littered with, like, frozen dinner
Yeah.
boxes and clothes, blankets, and also he was using milk crates as all of his furniture,
Yep.
which reminded me of Cody,
Cody.
our homeless milk crate friend.
Shout out Cody, friend of the pod.
Of course. And also I said that I have Michael, who he wasn't exactly fat.
Right. But
Michael,
wouldn't
he
call him
wasn't
skinny.
exactly fat, but no one would ever call him skinny.
Yeah. That was a sick dunk on Michael for no reason.
Yep.
And this is told in the third person, this book, so that was RL. He really pinpointed, I mean, truly, the smell of hospitals, which was nice.
I have
Actually,
a lot of the hospital too.
the beginning of chapter 15 is kind of nice in general. He focuses on the colors, like Greg is in shock.
It's like a PTSD anxiety.
Yeah,
It's the first two paragraphs of I had that too.
Yeah, their father gets in an accident, so Greg's a little bit in shock. So R.L. Stein focuses on colors in the beginning of chapter 15. It's very nice. But at the bottom of page 61 for me, the start of chapter 15, it says, Greg blinked, tried to see clearly, but it was all passing by too fast, all too unreal. Even the sharp hospital smell, that unique aroma of rubbing alcohol, stale food, and disinfectant couldn't make it real for him. I like the combination because that's relatable. We've all been in a hospital and you're like, it smells clean in here, but also like the worst. It's always like burning food or something like that.
You know,
and
it's
diarrhea.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is as good as any. Rubbing alcohol, stale food, disinfectant. I mean, rubbing alcohol and disinfectant is maybe redundant, but they have distinct smells.
They do. I really like that opening scene of the hospital, of him being dragged through, and all he can do is hear the thuds of his shoes and his heart beating. So
right.
Also, I think one of my favorite descriptions, along with that, is the baseball game, where he says, it was a warm fall afternoon, the sun high in a cloudless sky. The outfield grass had been freshly mowed and filled the air with a sharp, sweet smell. Greg crossed the grass and squinted into the bright sunlight, searching for Sherry. Both teams were warming up on the sides of the diamond, yelling and laughing, the sound of balls popping into gloves, competing with their loud voices. A few parents and several kids had come to watch. Some were standing around, some sitting in the low bleachers along the first baseline.
Yeah.
It's just very summer.
It is like a summer in the 90s.
And my favorite description this entire time. I love small details that they're little. This is Jovial
Bob Stein, our guy.
So Bird's team sucks.
Yeah.
Like sucks.
Right.
They're awful.
Yeah.
Like I think they talked about the game before, how they had lost like 7 or like 13-2 to the point where like they didn't even know if they had to keep playing because it was like 3 innings in and they were destroyed.
An abysmal record.
So, they were called with a silver. It was the cap that he's wearing. His uniform was blue with a silver dolphin over the bill and the words "Pitts Landing Dolphins."
Oh yeah.
What kind of name is Dolphins for a baseball team? Greg asked, grabbing the bill and turning the cap backwards on Bird's head. All the other caps were taken, Bird answered. We had a choice between the Zephyrs and the Dolphins. None of us knew what Zephyrs were, so we picked Dolphins.
Yeah, I do like that. That's a good reason. Yeah, sure. You don't know what you're signing up for with Zephyr.
They're like a shitty team. They're so goofy and bad, and they're so thrown together that it fits that character.
It does.
He doesn't care. He's not good. They're just thrown together everything to the point where they don't even know what something is. They're like, I don't care. Dolphin.
And Bird's a smart ass too. He probably revels in that.
It's funny.
Yeah. What else do I like? I like R.L. Stein once in a while will pepper in a really sophisticated word into these books. And I think that's good in a practical way because it challenges kids to like look up the word. Even now, like as an adult, I'll read like a David Foster Wallace story and I'll write down like 31 words because I don't know what they mean. But this is the equivalent for children. He writes brusquely on page 64. Ooh. And I think that's just kind of nice in a book that is also has some room for improvement or is just written for the audience, which is like, 10-year-olds. That was cool. There are some things I didn't like, which is the description of the kids in the beginning makes me miserable when he spells everything out and says like Bird was the joker of the group after he makes a joke. Like it's the ultimate like tell, don't show.
Also, Bird's nickname is extraneous detail after a while because they keep calling him bird-like. And then they say he acts like a chicken, but he looks like a bird. Then they say his face is bird-like. Yeah. Then they call him an ostrich because he is bird-like.
And they say stork-like when he's running.
He's just, we get it.
Yeah.
His name is Bird because he looks like a bird.
Right. We got that nailed down. Simile, can't have a book without mouth as dry as cotton, apparently. That's the 4th time.
Also, another one on page 53 for me, uttering a low cry of surprise.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just like the other book where...
Yeah, I thought of you because I thought of your O.
A hushed cry of surprise. Of alarm. Where he's like, alarm! And then he gets cut in half.
Yeah.
Worst verb ever used in this. So he takes...
Verb?
The verb... Well, this is maybe the first time they take a picture. And it's page 31. And it just says, the flash flashed.
Like not even gonna try.
It did. Like, it did what it was.
What did it flash
to do.
like? Flash, and it ends there.
Page 53. The low cry of surprise. Chapter 12. The entirety of chapter 12 is Sherry and Greg losing their shit because his camera doesn't have a brand name on it or a place to put batteries.
Oh man, the whole chapter is like, all right, does it have a brand name? All right, can we find where you put the photos in? All right, can you take it apart somehow? All right, where does the battery go in?
In between everyone, it's like, does it have a brand? It doesn't have a brand. They're like, whoa. Oh my god, wait, it has to have a film. No film.
It's just like studying the
chapters
camera.
At this point are maybe like a page and a half, 2 pages long.
There's a lot of short
This
chapters.
is like a 5-page chapter of them just being like, that was blowing my mind.
Yeah. It's worth noting that the book's 133 pages and there's 29 chapters.
Yeah. I got a really awkward description of Bird on page 58. We can probably skip that. I like when he uses little spooky puns and stuff. Greg is watching Sherry's birthday and the cops in the backyard from his house because he lives like next door or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just looks and he's like, the candle was still burning down on the cake. It was a birthday party for ghosts.
Oh, I know. That stuck out to me too. I hesitated. I was like, should I make a note of that? And I was like, yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Also, there was one point on page 103 when Greg looks at a photo and it said Greg goggled at the photo.
It says goggled?
It says goggled.
That's fucked up.
Is that a
That's,
thing?
That's an error then, right?
Is that a thing? Look. Right here I wrote, Greg goggled at the photo.
I mean, maybe it's a thing. I trust RL. Hold
I
on.
trust him.
Let's look it up.
Google it. And I'm just blowing through them now because I'm going to make some, good time.
Goggle. Googling goggle. Oh, it just autocorrected to Google.
Google didn't exist then.
Okay, listeners. Google goggle and it will just put in your browser bar, put goggle, and it'll autocorrect to Google and bring you to the Google homepage.
Sometimes it's hard to Google stuff. So we were at a toy convention before this, and there's this giant G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, and I'd never seen it in person. It's literally like 4 feet long. It's like a toy from the 80s.
Oh shit!
And it's called the SS Flag. And I was like, I wonder how much it cost originally, because this is insane. I don't like G.I. Joes, I don't care, but how much did this cost to get this 4 foot long toy? So I Googled SS Flag original price.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I accidentally searched a bunch of Nazi paraphernalia.
Now you're on a watch list.
I am. It sucks.
I've always known. I've always called you a proud boy, but I didn't know.
I was like, this is the exact opposite I want. I want American heroes.
I was trying to Google a toy price, like the opposite of.
By the way, it was only $109, which
Wow.
is insane.
It's good.
It's literally like 3 times the size of this table.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You could eat and sleep on it.
Oh, so real quick, goggle. Our boy's right. I shouldn't have doubted him. It
It's
says,
just really awkward.
"Look with wide open eyes, typically in amazement or wonder." For example, what in the world are you goggling at?
Okay, we'll let him have it. But on page 117, he starts 3 sentences with "and."
He strikes again, the bastard.
They stepped into the darkness of the front room, period. And stopped, period. And listened, period. And then they both jumped at the sound of the loud, sudden crash directly behind them. It is what it is. There's a really good description of Spidey, about his eyes and how they were like...
Yeah, when they finally describe what he looks like. Because up until that point, he's like a shadow or a black figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they say he's older than they thought. His eyes are small, beady, and sunken in.
That's actually, I'll say that's going to be my spookiest part.
Oh, shit.
And again, we always shit on things, but it's a kid's book. We love it.
Yeah.
And there are some good things. Something that I didn't expect is the storm at the final chapter.
Mm-hmm.
The lightning is supposed to parallel the camera flash
throughout
it in danger, to the point where with every flash, something kind of happens. So I thought that was way deeper than... I would have never saw that. Like, I would have never thought that would have been...
Yeah, I didn't think of it either. And then RL, I think, wrote as a simile, the lightning flashed like a camera.
Yeah.
And then
Which is what set me up for it. And then I look back. Master craftsman, RL.
Yeah.
RLS knows what he's doing.
Bravo.
Also, with
You're
the
here.
mom and the hospital, did you notice the mom who... We don't get too much about her. We get that conversation where she's like, I made you veal. He's like, this is good chicken. And they're like,
Yeah.
fucking
moron.
classless idiot.
You don't know what veal is? I killed this baby cow for you.
But the mom said, the car's completely wrecked, Mrs. Brinks interrupted, sitting on the edge of the folding chair. She rubbed her fingers, working the wedding ring around and around, something she always did when she was nervous.
Yeah.
I'm glad you boys didn't see it. Just...
It humanizes
It
her.
does, but
Yeah.
also realizing, like, I don't know, I was a single mother. Like, just kind of doing
Yeah.
that, having a nervous tick, thinking about her husband, her family.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
I think that brings us to the time where we can sing that song,
We do our
jingle.
Let's do our jingle. Let's do our usual segment.
All right.
Spooks and scares.
If you like to buy me flowers, go ahead now.
These are my spooks and scares and best dress, and also alternate title. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend.
All right, so I already kind of blew my wad on my scariest scare.
You know I love that.
It's easy to find it. I put these little notes on here. I always draw skull and crossbones. My scariest
perfect.
page. So for me, it's page 123. Climax of the story. Grand finale.
This is your spook and scare, right?
Yeah. The wooden stairs squeaked in protest as the dark figure stepped slowly, steadily down. As he reached the basement floor, A crackling bolt of lightning cast a blue light over him, and Greg and Sherry saw his face for the first time. In the brief flash of color, they saw that he was old, older than they had imagined, that his eyes were small and round like dark marbles, that his mouth was small, too, pursed in a tight, menacing grimace. "We returned the camera," Sherry said, staring in fear as Spidey crept closer. "Can we go now, please?" "Let me see," Spidey said. His voice was younger than his face, warmer than his eyes. "Come."
It's a nice description, and it's creepy, and it's also inviting in a way. Like the voice sounding like warm is kind of nice.
The grimace, like the smile. Also, when you're playing with age, anything that seems younger than it should be, like he was older, he looked older but sounded like a child, is so creepy.
It's like Johnny Depp.
He beats his wife?
Yeah.
Because I'm not for that. I'm not a big Spidey guy. He tried to murder children, so I hate him.
I meant like casting the same role for like 3 decades and thinking no one will notice that he's fucking old.
You mean
as hell now.
Tonto?
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a lot of missteps in Depp's career.
Yeah.
But we won't talk about
Missteps, we'll call them.
that. Yeah, check out our other podcasts.
Missteps.
Missteps. Yeah, that's cool. I think that's a good part.
What's your spook and scare?
My spook and scare is predictably Bird getting fucked up on the baseball field.
All right.
Page 47, this is the end of chapter 11. It says, the photo showed Bird sprawled unconscious on his back on the ground, his mouth twisted open, his neck bent at a frightening angle, his eyes shut tight. So up to this point, the snapshots that were taken, Michael was in a precarious position there, but he was falling. He wasn't like up to this point, you could think if you didn't know this was Goosebumps, you might not know that he's not dead.
Yeah.
He's not. He's okay, but the description is kind of brutal.
It is.
Best dressed. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Michael. Because
Me
early
too.
on, Michael is wearing denim cutoffs, which I wrote sexy.
Cool.
And it's like a good look for the summer.
Yeah.
And then, of course, his Hawaiian shirt, which is 3 sizes too big. I like that.
Yeah. So chapter 17, it says, Michael, his red hair unbrushed as usual, was wearing faded jeans and a flowered Hawaiian sports shirt about 3 sizes too big for him. I think it's cool. I think it's good.
I gotta represent my gingers, man.
What is this joke that Bird makes at the beginning of chapter 17? It says, I'm feeling okay, Bird said, slapping his friend a high five. The only problem is, ever since that ball hit me, Bird continued, frowning, from time to time I start pluck, cluck, cluck, clucking like a chicken. He flapped his arms and started strutting. Like, that's just like
brain damage.
Yeah. It's
guess.
disarming.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
I didn't say Bird was a good Joker, but I liked him.
He's got the humor in him. Alternate title. I'm unprepared for this.
Are you?
Do you have something?
Mine's more of a question that I thought of the entire time. So I'll just end it with mine. You
Okay.
just put one out there.
All right.
I'd like to end it with a thought for the crowd.
Oh, you want me
What's
to
yours?
do one?
Yeah, you do one.
Well, I might as well say it in every episode we do.
Uh-huh.
Say horny and come.
So mine, this is just a thought to end with. What would happen if you took nudes?
Oh, I thought of that. Yes.
I thought of that, like, it was like page 33, and I was like, I wonder what would happen if you
Yeah.
took
Like
you
a
take
dick
some
pic.
sexy, take a dick pic to Snapchat to somebody.
It falls off.
Yeah, Snapchat or die.
Yeah.
Vote or die.
Nudes or die.
Nudes or die. That's the name of this new one.
Baby.
Nudes or die. I think I like that.
Cool. All right. I think that's it for us, right?
Thank you for taking that RL time to be with us.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan Gosling, for
Being here.
Yeah, really appreciate that. Get at us on the social medias. We're at Calling All Creeps Pod on the Insta and at Call Creeps Pod on Twitter.
Yes. And thank you, the ghost of Akiva David, for being here and being our first guest.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I was just going to say I felt bad
Your
for the...
drugs hidden in my other car.
I think we're fine now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was a bummer.
No, it is a bummer.
You see how far a Canadian child actor can fall.
Yeah, but,
From a criminal to a dead boy.
but look, once you find the haunted camera, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it for you.
All right.
Until next time,
Boo dudes.
but it's bye.